Good morning, caller Yvonne. Are you here to make general public comment or multiple agenda item comment today?
Thank you for unmuting me. I'm here to make general and, yes, general and multiple.
Which items were you speaking on for multiple?
1, 2, 4, and that's it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Caller Jill, are you making general public comment or multiple agenda item comment today?
General.
Thank you. Caller The People, are you making general public comment or multiple agenda item comment today?
Hi, thank you. Yes, general as well as multiple item 2, 3, 4, 5.
Thank you. Sorry. Mona M., are you making general public comment or multiple agenda item comment today?
Good morning. General public comment, please.
Thank you. Gigi's phone, good morning. Are you making general public comment or multiple agenda item comment today?
That's general.
Thank you. Caller Georgina McPhee, are you here to make general public comment or multiple agenda item comment today?
I'm making general and agenda items 4 and 5.
Agenda items 4 and 5 for multiple, thank you. Caller Miriam, are you making general public comment or multiple agenda item comment today?
General comment,
Thank
thank you.
thank you. What's that? Caller Haggis, are you making general public comment or multiple agenda item comment today?
General public comment, please.
Thank you. Caller Nadir, are you making general public comment or multiple agenda item comment today?
General, just wanted to ask a question.
That was general public comment?
Yes.
Thank you. Caller Eyes to See, are you making general public comment or multiple agenda item comment today?
General public comment, please.
Thank you.
Welcome everyone to the Board of Public Works meeting for Friday, February 28th. Ms. Mattson, if you'd like to take roll and establish quorum for us, please.
Good morning, President and board members. I'm Elise Mattson, Executive Officer with the Board of Public Works, taking roll in establishing quorum. President Corsan, Vice President Chavez, President Pro Tem Grant, Commissioner King, and Commissioner Mitchell are all present, and we have a quorum. We're also joined by City Attorney Representative Adina Hopenstand, and I'm Elise Mattson, Executive Officer for this meeting.
Thank you, and thank you everyone for joining us today. We're going to start off with our presentations first. I'm going to turn the microphone over to Commissioner Faith Mitchell to lead us in our presentation.
Thank you, President Corsan. Welcome to the Board of Public Works presentation for African American Heritage Month, also celebrated as Black History Month. The recognition of African American history during the month of February goes back to 1926. Dr. Carter G. Woodson is a historian of Black American experience, initiated Negro History Week that year. He chose the second week of February, which happened to be the week in which Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln's birthdays fell. Dr. Woodson was the second Black American after W.E.B. Du Bois to obtain a PhD from Harvard University. After he was barred from the conferences of the American Historical Association, Dr. Woodson established alternative institutions dedicated to the study of Black history, including the National Organization of ASALH, the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, as it is known today. ASALH identifies itself as the founders of Black History Month. Fletcher Bowen was the first mayor of Los Angeles to officially recognize Negro History Week. Prior to Mayor Bowen's right, picture to Mayor Bowen's right is Vassie D. Wright, who founded our Authors Study Club in February 1945. Still active today, our Authors Study Club is the Los Angeles branch of ASALH, the National Organization for the Study of Black History, founded by Dr. Woodson. Our Authors Study Club led the first citywide celebration of Negro History Week starting in 1947, and in 1950, Vassie D. Wright and our Authors Study Club secured an official proclamation from Mayor Bowden. Also pictured in this picture is Evangeline Woodfolk and Reverend Baxter Duke. In 1963, following his retirement from the Los Angeles Police Department as a police lieutenant, Tom Bradley was the first American elected to the Los Angeles City Council. 10 years later, Bradley became the city's first Black mayor. He remains the Los Angeles' longest-serving mayor with 2 decades in office. At the urging of the ASALH, President Gerald Ford recognized Black History Month at the national level in 1976 during Mayor Bradley's first term. Mayor Bradley appointed the first Black pit commissioners to the Board of Public Works. The first was Warren Hollier in 1973. At a press conference, Mayor Bradley noted Hollier's experience on city council staff and relevant background in construction. In 1987, Mayor Bradley appointed the first Black woman to the Board of Public Works, Merle Evers Williams, the widow of the civil rights activist Medgar Evers, who had been the NAACP's first field secretary in Mississippi. Evers was murdered by a member of the Ku Klux Klan in 1963. Merle Evers Williams moved to California with 3 children in 1967 to study sociology at Pomona College. Earlier this month, Mayor Karen Bass, the second Black mayor and first female mayor, celebrated Black History Month with Laura Daniels Ball, the current president of our Authors Study Club, and Yvonne Wheeler, the first African-American woman to serve as the president of the LA County Federation of Labor. In this picture, the three women pose with a city certificate of recognition presented to our Authors Study Club. Next year will mark the 100th anniversary of Dr. Carter G. Woodson's first annual celebration of Black American history in 1926. Thank you for coming out to honor African American Heritage Month and the contributions of Black Americans to the city of Los Angeles and the United States. Now, in keeping with the spirit of celebrating Black excellence, we are pleased to recognize several outstanding African American employees of the Department of Public Works. Beginning with the Bureau of Contract Administration, General Manager John Reamer will present their nominee for 2025, which is Kenneth Johnson. Would you please come up?
Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song.
Audio is off.
Yes, Executive Chair, we cannot hear the speaker, please. Thank you.
No pressure, but you got a lot of folks looking at you. But for all of them, I want to say thank you. And for ours, I don't have words to speak to Kenneth Johnson. I really don't. There's not enough room in this place, and there's not enough time in this day to speak to the impact that he is making and has made in, I'm going to argue, his life proud of the Bureau of Contract Administration to nominate Construction Inspector Kenneth Johnson, who has been working for the city for 30 years. And affectionately, Kenny started in the Construction Workforce Division of the Department of General Services in 1994. And repairing the 110 freeway after the earthquake was one of the many things that he did. He subsequently worked in many areas, building services, the Bureau of Street Services, Port of Los Angeles, LA World Airports, before finding home with the Bureau of Contract Administration, where he started as a construction inspector in 2003. One of Kenny's most notable moments is he received a Career Service Award in 2006 for his work in tunnel inspection. And many people don't know the story, but tunneling was forbid in Los Angeles because of the fires that took place in the middle of it. And the Department of Public Works, this department, we had two major projects, the East Central Interceptor Suit and the North Central Interceptor Suit. And our men and women in many departments, sanitation, engineering, contract administration, we took it upon ourselves to mine in the city of Los Angeles and in some very dangerous areas with respect to concentration of gas, acknowledged by the state for doing a phenomenal job. It's because of that, all of what we see Metro, the agency, do today, they're able to do because of what this department did. And one of the inspectors, part of that team. And again, I could go on and on and on and on. Kenny is currently assigned to dispatch, our dispatch scheduling system, where he helps Angelinos schedule inspections, but not just that. We get people calling for a number of things, and the voice that they will hear many times is that of Kenneth Johnson. And his greatest satisfaction, as he quotes, is helping constituents throughout the city who are in need of various information on how to proceed with their projects. Kenny just wants to help people get where they're trying to go and obtain what they need. Kenny was born in St. Louis, has a background in architectural drafting and technical illustration, studied electrical engineering at Cal State Los Angeles, and he also trained in boxing at the professional level for 16 years. And it doesn't surprise me because Kenny has learned how to fight through many issues at his life. What we don't have here is that Kenny also is a carpenter. He went through the apprenticeship program, and he's a journey-level carpenter. This is a man with skills, a man with talents. We don't have the time, don't have enough aid. I will say this, however, the city, this department, and our Bureau of Contract Administration is so fortunate to have employees like that, who provide excellent customer service, have invaluable expertise, and are a joy and pleasure. I am blessed to be able to present to you on behalf of your contract administration this work of course, and we send on behalf of the recognize that. Thank you for your You have valuable words to say, and we want to hear them.
Okay, I'm here. Okay, again, I'd just like to thank God the Father in the name of Christ Jesus, my Lord and Savior. And as I stated, I'm very grateful for being recognized for what I do. And I didn't do this alone. And I think it's very selfish of me to stand before you and receive full credit. I had a lot of help. Those that have came before me, I call them the forerunners that paved the way. My family, my parents, friends, co-workers, teachers, coaches. I had a lot of help to get where I am. But I'd like to thank our director, Mr. John Raymer, for all that he's been. And I also like to thank my chief inspector, Ms. Angela Martinez, one of our other Valley District chief inspector, Mr. George Espindola, my principal inspector, my supervisor, who I work with on a daily basis, Mr. David Miles. And I also like to recognize two of my co-workers, Glenn Weitzel and Arturo Gomez. And I thank you all, and this is very appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Raymer and Mr. Johnson, for your service. We'll be taking pictures out on the steps after the presentation, so please stay on board. Presenting on behalf of the Board of Public Works is our Board President, Vahid Khorsand, and our honoree is Lamisha Candler.
I think she stepped out of the room if you want to go to the next one.
Oh, well, she's dealing with technical difficulties. We'll go to the next honoree. On behalf of the Bureau of Street Lighting, General Manager Miguel Sagalang, and our nominee this year is Albert Bob IV.
Thank you to the Board of Public Works for, first of all, recognizing history, because our place in history matters. And I wanted to introduce, first of all, Albert Bob, who is here standing next to me. He is a street lighting engineer, associate too. He has been working here in the Bureau for a little bit, for basically a decade. But his start was actually even before one would consider normal work. He was a student worker. So he's on the younger end of our spectrum, right, when it comes to city employees. And I'm really proud of that because from his history that he shared with us, being born in Inglewood and raised there and having very limited access to STEM, right, and being inspired by that and seeing the opportunities of that. I think that's phenomenal. And he, from there, developed his own interest in math and science and engineering, and through the influence of mentors and teachers and others like that, really wanted to work in the field that inspired him. And he went and gained his first experience through Caltrans, right? Caltrans internship, sought that out himself. Got his own associate's degree from El Camino College and eventually his own civil engineering from Cal State Long Beach. He joined the Bureau then in 2015 as a student worker. 2017 was when he came on full-time, right? Amazing work. He worked initially in our Department of Transportation kind of work, a lot of work in the design kind of section, right-of-way enhancements, what we call it now. I like to say he was at that point kind of our shining light. He would help make our neighborhoods a brighter place, make the pedestrian kind of safety a priority for those that can walk and live in their neighborhoods at night. And now what he's working on within the Bureau is in a place that we're calling co-location. For those that have heard me talk about that before, we're attaching telecom equipment to our streetlights, right? We're adding communications. We're adding all of these things that our neighborhoods will need in the future to participate in the future economy. And what I call that is now he's really our guiding light. He's going to be sharing all of these technologies that helped inspire him to neighborhoods that would not have had it before. And I think that's incredibly important. And, you know, I think in all of this, I just wanted to say that the fact that we have someone of his caliber, and by the way, I forgot to say his entire name. It's Albert Bob IV, right? But he's the first, actually, in his family to ever have joined the city of Los Angeles. And I hope that it really is going to be a generational thing to come to here, because he's impacted our community so much. And with that, I'd really like to present the certificate from the Board of Public Works. And I'll just read it off too, as well. It says here on certificate of recognition from the Board of Public Works honors Albert Bob IV, Street Lighting Engineering Associate 2, Bureau of Street Lighting. On behalf of the City of Los Angeles, the Board of Public Works is pleased to recognize your efforts and accomplishments, which have been great benefit to the entire Department of Public Works. We thank you for your contributions and service and wish you continued success in your future endeavors. Signed by everyone on the board. Thank you, Albert. And I forgot to mention, we're also joined by our Chief Engineer, Fabian Cheng, and also with one of our senior engineers as well. Would you like to say anything?
Yes, I would just like to thank God for waking me up every single morning, every single day. And I just want to give recognition and thanks to Miguel, to Assad, and to Fabian for giving me this recognition. And thanks to everyone at the Bureau of Street Lighting for guiding me and helping me and also mentoring me, and everyone in the City of Los Angeles that does their hard work and that helps contribute to the city. Thank you.
Just a quick announcement. We were having some audio issues. Apologies for that, but I believe they've been resolved. If you're listening on the Zoom and you are still having difficulty hearing, you can call in to the phone number on page 1 of the agenda or use the live audio link that's also on page 1 of the agenda. Thank you.
Next is the General Manager for Bureau of Street Services, Keith Mose. Our nominee is Lieutenant Charles Smith. Would you please come forward?
Good morning, Commissioner, Council President, colleagues. Today we're here to honor Lieutenant Charles Smith. Step forward, Charles. And I'm not going to sing, so if I sing, I've had too much to drink, so I'll just say that. But Charles has been with the Bureau since 2014, and he's an experienced senior street service investigator with the Department of Public Works, Bureau of Street Services, with a strong record of leadership. Charles has effectively represented the Bureau in various high-level settings, including city attorney and city council meetings. He has built collaborative relationships with LEPD, LAFD, and CHP, leading training initiatives for division staff on professional development and best practices in the field. Since 2019, Charles has overseen the Reserve Investigator Program, demonstrating his leadership in recruitment, coordinating, training, and managing newly appointed Reserve investigators for the Bureau. He also serves as the Bureau's Professional Standards Liaison and Division Safety Officer, ensuring adherence of policies and procedures while promoting safety, operational excellence across the board. Charles' commitment to professional growth is evident through his extensive training and leadership in areas such as new employee orientation, field training coordinator, street right-of-way permits training, cartograph implementation, OpenGov right-of-way permit system implementation, investigation enforcement, best practices oversight. He has also attended Department of Public Works board meetings related to budgetary proposals and right-of-way projects within the city of Los Angeles. Mr. Smith continues to exhibit exemplary work ethics and a high level of professionalism. Charles has earned his Master's of Science in Leadership and Business Management with an emphasis in organizational development from the University of Laverne. He is an alumnus of the University of Phoenix, where he has earned a BA in Criminal Justice Administration with a concentration in Human Services. Additionally, Charles holds a basic Peace Officer Standards Training Certificate from Rio Hano Police. Outside of work, Charles enjoys spending time with his family, volunteering in the community, and playing with his bass guitar. His dedication to his career and his community is a testament to his passion of making a positive impact. And with that being said, Charles is also a native of South Los Angeles, or South Central, as we like to call it, from LA Unified, School, things like that, where he's attended. He's in my interactions and dealing with Charles, he's very committed, very professional, and a pleasure to work with at all times. And so, I think that you have great things ahead of you in the Bureau, to where you can become the division manager and also a, executive as far as in leadership when it comes to assistant director or even director. So Charles, thank you, sir. I know. Are you going to say a few words, Gary? Yeah. Oh, this is Chief Gary Harris. He'd like to say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Gary Harris, Street Services, and I'd just like to talk about, for just a few minutes, how much a pleasure it is to work with Lieutenant Charles Smith. As our director, Keith Mose, mentioned, Charles is in charge of our reserve program, and what that program does, it mentors volunteers from our community to assist us in our work, but also to help people with a pathway toward career jobs in the city of Los Angeles, like being one of our investigators. One of the crowning achievements that Charles has already done in this program, he took one of our targeted local hire workers who came in as an office assistant, mentored her into getting through the police academy, worked with her to make her one of our reserve investigators. And then as soon as our openings became available, we were able to hire her on as a full-time street services investigator, putting her on a whole new career track by the work that Charles does in this program. And what makes it so exemplary is that this is a totally volunteer program, even on behalf of Charles. Charles gives his own time, after hours, weekends, to work with these volunteers who give their time to help these people in a life-changing way for many of the volunteers who come in for the kind of things that he's preparing them for in the future. So I just want to give Charles much praise and credit for that as an exemplary city employee. He really exemplifies what we say when we talk about public servant. Charles is indeed the example of a true public servant. So I want to congratulate you again, Charles, and just say thank you for being part of our team.
Can I say a few words?
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm truly honored and grateful to be nominated for this prestigious award recognition to the commissioners, to Keith Mose, to Shirley Clemens, Anna Ruby, Nick Lopez, and Assistant Director Lau, to Gary Harris, Division Manager, to David Rivera, to Manny Perez, all have played an intricate part in my development and growth. I'm thankful, I'm grateful, I'm committed. I'm committed to serve our community, to serve our constituents, to serve our stakeholders. I'm grateful for this opportunity. I look forward to a long-lasting career with the City of Los Angeles. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Next in order, presenting on behalf of the Bureau of Engineering is General Manager Ted Allen. Their nominee is Lisa Blake.
All right, thank you so much, Commissioner Mitchell, President Corson, and the rest of the board. I'm so excited to be here and so happy I didn't have to follow John Reamer, but so glad I got to hear that. And thank you, John. That was amazing. We should start every day like that. It would be great. Today, we're honoring Elisa Blake for the Bureau of Engineering. I want to congratulate also all of the other nominees, I shouldn't say nominees, but the winners of recognition from the other bureaus. And Elisa's been a longtime friend of mine. We worked together in engineering for over 30 years now. I'm going to read her official bio, and then I'm going to add some of my own personal notes at the end. Elisa is our Director of Systems for the Bureau of Engineering, leading our IT professionals and support staff focused on enterprise information technology, data, and artificial intelligence and cybersecurity. Since assuming this role in 2018, Elisa has been dedicated to fostering innovation and leading digital transformation initiatives, ensuring that strategic IT initiatives align with engineering's business objectives. Her leadership has been pivotal in adopting a multi-cloud strategy, leveraging Azure, AWS, Box, Google, and Oracle to optimize performance, redundancy, and resiliency. Under Elisa's watch, the Bureau of Engineering has moved entirely from on-premise servers to entirely in the cloud. I believe we were the first department to do that. And yeah, and she was the leader of that project. It was not easy, but it was very successful. Thank you, Elisa. This has resulted in a reduction of IT infrastructure costs and a reduction in energy consumption while enabling access to data and applications from any internet connection. She's also driven significant advancements in cybersecurity, including implementing multi-factor authentication, vulnerability scanning, and reducing critical vulnerabilities, to reduce critical vulnerabilities, I should say, contributing to a more secure environment for engineering and for the residents of the city. She's, it says adept here, but I would say she's excellent at communicating effectively with stakeholders and driving consensus. With over 30 years of service in engineering, she's risen through the ranks in the systems division, beginning as a systems aide. She's worked her all the way up through systems analyst, senior systems analyst, and now the chief of the group, the director of systems. And during her career, she's had the pleasure of leading, mentoring, and cultivating high-performing cross-functional teams. She's passionate about employee development and mentors the next generation of technology leaders. With Elisa, it's not just words, but it's actions, and she really does, and that's why so many are here to cheer her on today. She promotes a culture of continuous learning and adaptability. She actively collaborates with Cal State LA computer science students in developing a sidewalk assessment robot. She grew up here in LA. She received her Master of Science degree in Leadership and Management from the University of La Verne and her Bachelor of Science degree in Computer Information Systems from Azusa Pacific. She's a senior certified professional by the Public Sector HR Association. She's also a member of the Industry Advisory Board for Cal State LA Computer Science Department, also Association of Information Technology Professionals, a member of American Management Association, and Alpha Chi National College Honor Society. She's also in the past been the recipient of our 2016 Rory M. Shaw Award, which a lot of you saw just recently, this year's award winner. That's basically our Employee of the Year award. And she's also won in the past an award for excellence for outstanding dedication in public service. So on the personal note, as I mentioned, I've known Elisa my entire career, going back to my first year with the city. I'm a civil engineer, but I've always loved programming, and Elisa would help me get orders for Visual Basic back then, or things that no one else would help me get, and she'll help everyone. That's the way she is. She's an excellent manager, an excellent mentor. Her employees will go to great lengths for her because they know she would do that for them, and we just all love Elisa, so all of us would do that. She's brilliant when it comes to information technology. She has a network specialty, but honestly, she can do it all. She's a great friend, which makes me so proud to be able to give this to her today. And every organization has a heart and soul. Elisa is a big part of the heart and soul of the Bureau of Engineering. I'm going to tear up again. It's 2 times in 3 weeks. So with that, I'm very proud and honored, Elisa, to give this award to you for the, to celebrate African American History Month. And thank you all for this time. And I'll turn it over to
you. Good morning, President Corson and Commissioners. I am humbled and honored to be here today for this recognition. I'd like to thank City Engineer Ted Allen. As Ted said, we are really good friends, and so it's so wonderful to be able to grow up in an environment with your friend. But then he also is your boss, and so it's really great to have the best of both worlds. I really want to thank him and the entire executive team, Chief Deputy City Engineer Deborah Weintraub, my supervisor and manager, Bert Mokelbus, who's right here today with us, Deputy City Engineer Alfred Mata, and Chief Financial Officer Robert Katamatsu. Their leadership and their guidance and support really has been invaluable in my career. I want to express my deepest gratitude to my family for being here today. My sister, son, aunt, and all of my amazing friends here today. Thank you.
Stand up.
Yeah.
Stand up.
Thank you all for your love and support. I am grateful to my late grandmother and mother, whose influence shaped my values and ethics that has guided me throughout my life. I'm honored to work for the Bureau of Engineering with my city family. It's truly a remarkable agency. I cannot say enough, and is evidenced by my 34 years in the Bureau. You know that I really mean it when I say that. The Bureau is such a remarkable agency that champions equitable in its workforce. It is just wonderful to have that equity in the workforce in the Bureau. And it's so wonderful how we continue to advance technology and employee development. It is a privilege and honor to share this recognition with my colleagues in the Systems Division. Some are here in person today, here, and others are attending virtually. I could not do this complex and amazing work without them. I'd like to thank them for their dedication and commitment to provide technology that supports engineering's operational goals for the Los Angeles residents. And thank you again so much for this opportunity.
Get a photo with them.
We're going to try this again. Board President Corson and Lamisha Candler,
Lamisha is here. Come on up. There's a whole thing here about Lamisha, but I think you all saw earlier how valuable she is to the board office by ignoring the fact that she was in queue to be the honoree, but was focused on making sure our audio was working, and then left to ensure that our audio kept working, and then we had to pull her away from work so that she could receive this certificate. I'll start off first by just acknowledging all of the recipients. Thank you for sharing this space with me, with us as a board. Your work is very valuable to the city, not just for the work you do inside the buildings, but for what it means to those outside of the building. We talk about diversity and equity, and for those who receive the city services, it's important to see a city staff that reflects who we are as a composition of a city. And for each of you, I want to thank you for your continued service to the city of Los Angeles and everything you bring. And hopefully it is not another 34 years, but maybe just a little bit more. But our board office honoree is Lamisha Candler, who has distinguished herself as principal clerk for the Board of Public Works, a position she has held since 2019. Lamisha has been with the city for over 17 years. Do you remember all 17? As principal clerk, she has demonstrated exceptional leadership and dedication to the board secretary, supervising the agendas, minutes, and journal section she oversees. Lamisha quickly adapted to the position's new responsibilities, such as learning the new meeting management system. I will attest, as someone who's asked her certain things on agendas, she has no problem coming over and telling me how it really works. So thank you for your leadership. Lamisha supports her staff and colleagues, offering training, guidance, and assistance when needed. That's me. Thank you. Colleagues note that her proactive approach and willingness to step up exemplify the qualities of perseverance, teamwork, strong work ethic, resourcefulness, and leadership. The city and the board are grateful to Lamisha for her extraordinary contributions to our workplace. She continuously strives for greater efficiency while maintaining a positive, safe, and supportive work environment. Thank you personally, thank you from the board, and congratulations.
Thank you.
First, I would like to thank my supervisor and the commissioners, President Corsan, for this nomination and for the opportunity to contribute to the department. I am truly honored to be recognized for the role I play in our department. Resignation, I'm sorry, I'm nervous. Recognition means a lot to me, and I'm grateful for the chance to play a role in our team's success. As part of this moment, I'd like to recite the Hey Black Child poem. It's a poem that has stayed with me since 3rd grade, and it still resonates with me today in a very special way. I remember freezing on stage, unable to recall the words except for Hey Black Child. That moment of fear and uncertainty taught me a valuable lesson about resilience and strength, and I believe this nomination reflects that same spirit, overcoming challenges, embracing growth, and believing in the potential we all carry within us as a reflection of that journey, and it's a reminder to keep pushing forward no matter the challenges. Hey, Black child, do you know who you are, who you really are? Do you know you can be what you want to be if you try to be what you can be? Hey, Black child, do you know where you're going, where you're really going? Do you know you can learn what you want to learn if you try to learn what you can learn? Hey, Black child, do you know you are strong? I mean really strong. Do you know you can do what you want to do if you try to do what you can do? Hey, Black child, be what you can be, learn what you must learn, do what you can do, and tomorrow your nation will be what you want it to be. Just like that child in the poem, I stand here today with pride, not just for myself, but every African American with a dream, hope for the future, the support and opportunities I've been given, and the growth I've achieved, and the possibilities ahead. I'm excited for what's yet to come, and I encourage you to never give up on yourself.
And last but not least is the Bureau of Sanitation and Environmental Services presenting is Sherry Kuroki. And the nominee is Joy Norman, who is not with us today, but we know you'll get her certificate and her Board of
Yes.
Public Works pin.
Yes. So, good morning, Commissioners, Bureau Reps who I think are joining us virtually, City Attorney, hi, Dina, Executive Officer. My name is Sherry Kuroki. I'm with LA Sanitation and Environment, and I'm with the Administration Division. Unfortunately, yes, Joya Norman could not be with us today, and unfortunately, neither could our executive team because they are currently in their budget meeting with the mayor's office. So I'm here to represent both and accept this recognition on Joya's behalf. So Joya did prepare a statement, which I'm going to read after the bio. So Joy Norman is known as Payroll Supervisor Extraordinaire at LA Sanitation Environment. She has been with the city since 1987, starting as a clerk typist in the personnel department, and then joining LA San as an accounting clerk in 1999 and has been the payroll supervisor since 2019. She and her staff process payroll transactions for over 3,500 LA San employees. Let me repeat that, 3,500 employees. Making sure that they are paid correctly and on time. She is one of the Bureau's workday experts, and since the city's transition from D-Time or Pacer to Workday, LA San employees and representatives of other city departments have made use of her encyclopedic knowledge of the new system and her sympathetic ear. Her patience, composure, and professionalism are very much in evidence as she handles questions and complaints about payroll. She has distinguished herself as one of LA San's most hardworking, dependable, and dedicated employees, often staying in the office from sunrise to sundown, more than 12 hours a day. A native Angelina, as I am, Joya is known as Auntie JoJo by her nieces and nephews. She enjoys watching Hallmark movies, which I do as well. Who doesn't enjoy a good Hallmark movie? And Westerns, singing in the church choir, and going on cruises. She is also a huge sports fan who is currently mourning the loss of her favorite football team at this year's Super Bowl game. Joya's expertise, calm and can-do attitude have made her indispensable to LA San, and we commend her excellent work for the city and the Bureau. Before her reader statement, though, I jotted down a few notes myself. So just a few additional words about this incredible employee. So it goes without saying that she is one of the most hardworking, caring, and dedicated employees that I've ever had the pleasure to work with and supervise. And we are so lucky to have her in the LA San family. And I definitely am witness to her 12 plus hours per day. I come into the office at 7 a.m. and Joy is already there. I leave at 6:30 p.m. and she is still there plugging away at her computer, making sure that all the workday payroll issues are resolved and that everybody gets a paycheck. I mean, she's in different clothes, so I'm pretty sure she hasn't slept there overnight. I hope not. She is admired by her own staff and departments who regularly reach out to her with their questions and concerns. And she definitely is our biggest advocate. And by our, I mean like your advocate and everybody here who's a city employee, because she is there in the meetings arguing that things don't work with the system and that they need to be resolved right away. In short, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Joya, and I think the Bureau is a better Bureau because she is a part of it. And the short statement provided by Joya, I'll read it right now. So she says, "Thank you for honoring me with such a prestigious award. The recognition means so much to me, and I want to express my gratitude to everyone who supported me along the way. To my payroll team, I want to thank you for all your hard work and dedication. Although it has been extremely difficult times with learning a new payroll system, your dedication and effort never wavered. Thank you to management and executives for your support as well. Again, thank you from the bottom of my heart." I'm very honored to accept this recognition on her behalf. I guess for picture purposes. Got it? Thank you.
Now we are going to, are we going to the steps? Steps? Pardon? Oh, excuse me.
Oh, unless commissioners want to say something.
Any comments from the commissioners? Commissioner Grant?
Yes, a couple things. Firstly, I'd like to thank my beloved colleague, Commissioner Mitchell, for putting this together. I think it's rare, or we must more often appreciate who we are, how we got here, and those who in such a way have cleared a path for us to continue to build this great city. Secondly, over the past period of time, I've come to question, as one of America's favorite poets said, whose America is this anyway? And reflecting on it, it's caused, I think, all of us a bit of angst and consternation. But today, these honorees, like so many of their colleagues as well, you and your families, your dedication, your resilience, your history, your strength, you, in fact, have made clear what our community is. Your work has shaped this city, but your career has given the character to the city that it has, and that you have defined this. You are our community. You have defined who our Los Angeles is. And for me, you determine you are our America, and I thank you for your work and all that you've done.
So good morning and congratulations. Just want to echo what Commissioner Grant just mentioned as well, and also our president. I think diversity is definitely our strength, and I am so inspired by all of your work and dedication. The umbrella of Public Works comprises over 5,500 employees, and the fact that we get to hear some of the amazing heroes within our department is just such an inspiration for me being part of this board. So thank you.
I'm also so honored to celebrate with all of you here today as we not only honor African American Heritage Month, and throughout the year we honor the heritage of, all the different contributions of folks in our city, our employees, but we're also remembering and acknowledging the historical barriers that have existed for people to enter into public service. And you are all living testament of that reality. Your leadership and your contributions are a living reminder of overcoming those barriers, and reminding the generations after you that those opportunities exist here in the city. And it contributes to the rich heritage here in the city, and the contributions, and I think President Corzine said it really well, just that we reflect the city, that we are an inclusive city, and that we look like the city. And that's really important when we are day in and day out representing this, the city government to the residents and the citizens of Los Angeles. It's really important that they see that. So thank you and congratulations.
Commissioner Mitchell, I want to thank you for leading us today, for putting together a great breakfast for us as well, a great slideshow great prepared remarks, just reminding of why this day is important to the city and nationally as well. I want to appreciate your efforts and what you've done, and thank you. And thank you to everyone who came, because showing support to your colleagues, your family, your friend is also very important to us. Just to know that our employees are not only respected by us, but appreciated by their friends and family as well, and their fellow coworkers. And for all of us to take that moment out of our busy days to be here is a testament, again, to the will and strength of our workforce and everything we put in on a daily basis. So thank you. We'll take a 10-minute recess once Commissioner Mitchell approves and has provided her closing remarks.
First of all, President Corsian, thank you for this assignment. I also want to thank that special presentation, totally unexpected, by John Reamer. I also want to thank I call him my ghostwriter, but Oliver Hall, who came in today just to run our slideshow and actually put wonderful words in my mouth to actually talk about what this all means. I consider all of this history we talk about, Black history, African American history, this is American history.
That's right.
And despite the current currents, so to speak, in this country that want to erase the contributions of all of us, with the exception of a few, or tell a very limited story, I think it's important that we all think back and reflect on the true history of this country, be it good, be it bad, be it indifferent. I also want to thank each of our honorees, their bureau heads, as well as all the employees that showed up today or might be in their offices or at home viewing this particular meeting, the portion of this presentation today. Because what I have been, I've always had this in public service. I am a public servant and have always been professionally as well as a volunteer, is the quilt of cultures and ethnicities that make up the public service, whether it's been on the state level where I've worked a considerable period of my time, where it's been in the federal government where I actually clerked as a law student, or here working with the city of Los Angeles in this current position, as well as when I did some other work for the police commission as a hearing examiner. It's the quilt of America, and we all work together, and we know we can work together. We may have differences from time to time, but when everyone shows up, everyone shows out. And thank you so much for taking this time to make this observation of African American Heritage Month in the city of Los Angeles. And let's go on the steps and take some pictures.
We'll take a 10-minute recess. Everyone, you're welcome to join us on the steps for a group photo.
Get it steps.
Son is so cute. Oh my God, you're
I'm like, anything.
Testing.
Rearranging the furniture. Oh, is this it? Okay. Oh, got your furniture. Sorry about that.
All right, welcome back, everyone. It is 11:29 on Friday, February 28th, or 11:29. There we go, and we'll move on to general public comment for today's meeting. General public comment is an opportunity for the public to address the board on public interest items and will be provided up to 1 minute per person for a cumulative total of 10 minutes for the general public comment segment of each regular meeting. Testimony shall be limited in content to matters which are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. The board may not take any action on matters discussed during the public comment period. Ms. Mattson, if you'd like to open up our general public comment, please.
Yes, thank you, President Corsand. We have 10 speakers on the Zoom platform this morning for general public comment. Yvonne, we'll start with you. You have 1 minute. You can go ahead.
Thank you. The issues of the special events permits, planters, and the street abatement by Scientology's request to vacation the street, all have brought forward some areas where policy and procedures need some amending. No organization should close a street more than once a year for longer than 4 days. The Oscars don't even do that. And the Oscars don't ask for more than one event like that a year. Scientology should not be privileged to continue this kind of behavior. No organization should be. 4 days maximum per year per event holder. Please make that a policy. Weekly markets for farmers markets are the exception. And they only operate 1 day.
Thank you, that's time. Caller Jill, you have 1 minute. You can go ahead.
The very fact that the planters are still present on L. Ron Hubbard Way and on the other streets that are adjacent to L. Ron Hubbard Way shows me that you're very much in cahoots with that child trafficking cult of Scientology, that you're allowing them to get away with what they're allowed to get away with, because they're child trafficking cult, and the very fact that you allow them to get away with it, all of the people that are enabling it might as well have their names added to the Epstein list. I yield back my time. Bye.
Thank you. Caller The People, you have 1 minute. You can go ahead.
About 3 years ago, a black man named William Good was arrested on a false 5611 LAMC violation, and he was also issued a $2,500 fine. That same officer, for this board touting to be so supportive of Black History Month, called him a black fool. He was not held in violation of policy. A black fool, and this board fined him $2,500 for what? He was recording a bogus homeless and street sweep by your corrupt mayor, Karen Bass. How much does this board actually care about black people? You, Commissioner Faith, is that what you think a black man should be done to? Arrested for publicly filming, and peacefully so, and held to a 5611 arrest and fee penalty? Why can't you do that to Scientology? You know 5611 is a real law. They're violating it every day. $2,500 a day. But no, you let a man be called a black fool and be
Thank you,
arrested
that's
over
time.
it.
Caller Mona M, you have 1 minute. You can go ahead.
Thank you, Commissioners. Again, I would like to bring up the planners, the permits, the street vacation, and I'm not too sure if Audit is going to be able to call in today, but I know that we had a professional site assessment for the ADA and the California Disability Act, both, and we emailed that yesterday to TJ Knight. I'm not too sure if Ms. Mattson, if you received it, but if you haven't, please look for it. And we would like for everyone to have a distributed copy of that. Thank you, and I yield back my time.
Thank you. Caller Gigi's phone, you have 1 minute. You can go ahead.
Hi. So I'm going to talk about how I think it's taken way too long for you guys to get rid of the planters, but I want to bring up what Mona just spoke of. And there's finding 14 of that report where it states something about signs that are not legal, signs saying no parking. So I'm wondering if it's you guys or if there's somewhere else I can go to find out, like, is there parking allowed on L. Ron Hubbard Way, or is it no parking? Are they illegally putting signs up there? Is it just abandoned trash because it's not a city-approved sign? Can you guys get rid of these fake signs? And of course, get rid of those planners.
Thank you. Caller Georgina, you have 1 minute. You can go ahead.
Thank you. This is a continuation of my complaint from Wednesday regarding the ugly wooden shipping crates that are dumped onto the sidewalks of Fountain Avenue. These crates are in direct violation of the American Disabilities Act, which was enforced to make public property accessible to all. These crates, which, may I remind you, are not even filled with arable soil, but instead contain only substrate and aggregate. They're not in place for neighborhood beautification, but instead they're a barricade to the public. Why are they being allowed to continue to block public access to these sidewalks? They need to be removed. Scientology needs to be fined for every day each one of these are in place. There are hundreds of these crates, and if you find them per planter per day, the city could recoup the costs needed to repair the sidewalks that these crates have damaged. Give the
Thank you,
sidewalks
that's
back
time.
to the people.
Caller Miriam, you have 1 minute. You can go ahead.
Along the streets by Scientology building site, where basic access is denied, a curb too steep, a path too tight, a slope that leans too far from right. Baby caskets block the narrow way, where wheelchairs pause in forced delay. No space to park, no way to stand, a crosswalk buried in the sand. A sign too low, a step too tall, no ramps to help, no space at all. The law is clear. The path should be for all to move in dignity. So lift the chains, remove the wall, make space for one, make space for all. Thank you.
Thank you. Caller Haggis, you have 1 minute. You can go ahead.
Thank you very much. As Miriam brings up about the forced abortions and the giant baby caskets lining LRH and Fountain, we cannot allow a worldwide criminal enterprise of Scientology to break state and federal laws under the guise of their religious doctrines. Would you like it, and would you be okay if they were spit roasting babies over an open barbecue on LRH with an event permit? Of course not. So why would you let them commit sexual, physical, and mental abuse of children as part of their religious doctrine? Remove the planters and start investigating this crime syndicate before you become Clearwater Part 2. Thank you, and I yield back my time.
Thank you. Caller Eyes to See, you have 1 minute. You can go ahead.
Greetings, everyone. For every planter outside of the blue building, a child in Scientology is getting an ethics handling, making amends, or laying on a bare floor with no food due to his or her handling. Let there be no biasness, no conflict of interest regarding the planters. Please don't let Scientology children voices be silent. They have dreams too. Thank you. I yield back my time.
Thank you. We have one caller, Nadir, who I believe has exited the Zoom, but Nadir, if you're listening in a different Zoom title, if you could just press *9 to raise your hand. And in the meantime, President Corsand, we have one more hand raised. If you're all right, I can check if they'd like to make a general public comment.
Yes, please.
Caller Carla, are you making general public comment or multiple agenda item comment today?
General public comment, please.
You have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you for letting me speak. I want to talk about the street called L. Ron Hubbard Way that currently is being requested to, or is being lobbied to have a vacation. Who was Mr. L. Ron Hubbard? He was an extremely racist individual who created this cult that we are talking about every single day here with you. Right now, this cult has another leader called David Miscavige, who is also extremely racist. And I'm saying all this, not just me. I would recommend you to go read the book by Jesse Prince. He was the only African-American member of the church who got it to the top, and he wrote a book called The Expert Witness, and he explained all the horrible things these people said about African Americans and all the other cultures. So it's a pity that the rest of the audience is not here to listen to this, because we are here talking about how this organization is not complying with the law.
Thank you, that's
They're doing
time.
whatever they want.
President Corsan, that's it for our general public comment today.
Thank you. With that, we'll close the general public comments section for today's meeting and move on to multiple agenda items public comment. The board will provide an opportunity for members of the public wishing to speak on more than one agenda item during multiple agenda item comment for up to 1 minute per item, up to a total of 3 minutes per meeting. This is the only time to speak on more than one agenda item.
Thank you. We have 3 speakers on the Zoom platform. Caller Yvonne, you indicated you'd like to speak on items 1, 2, and 4. You have 3 minutes. You can go ahead.
Thank you. Number 1, and any of the items that identify realla.org as a source for documents, I have tried to register for that access, and I understand there needs to be a wall of information after the bids are submitted. However, it is of public interest to read the original bid requests and the conversations that are held between the departments and the potential contractors. The questions and answers and the changes that are made to the bid requests are important for the public and the community councils to be aware of. This is one of the ways that you can engage the community councils prior to it being on your desk for your approval or disapproval. Thank you. That was number 1. Amendment to the personal services contracts. This, again, is a situation where you're not being provided enough information. When the personal service contracts come before you for amendments or renewals, you're not getting a clear picture of what services have been rendered and whether or not they have been satisfactorily fulfilled in a timely way. Communicating better with the contracting community and your bidding process can be resolved by implementing the same engineering and systems management programs used by the Department of Defense. It goes from the inception all the way through the cost accounting and implementation, and it is fully accountable, and you need to look at outside the civil engineering program management framework. Developments, I'm on number 4 now, 4 or 5. Developments or anything that this department does needs to engage the public more. The public in the city, in the state, need to feel like government is doing with, not for or to the citizens. Put the civility back into civil engineering. Thank you.
Thank you. Caller The People, you indicated you'd like to speak on items 2, 3, 4, and 5. You have 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Just getting straight to number 4, I'll jump around a bit. You talk about public right-of-way, and I just want to bring this board's attention to 5611 and 5612, particularly 5612 as it relates to this for obstruction of public streets and sidewalks, basically public rights-of-way. What penalties are associated as it stands to here, as well as other motions, when somebody commits a violation of 5611 and 5612? If you can't remember, I'll tell you. What happens is a criminal arrest and a charge, as well as a fine daily of $2,500 per violation. Every day of the violation is a new
Bureau
charge.
of Engineering, and 5611, 5612 isn't part of that. So please restrict your comments.
So
to
you're
the
telling me
agenda.
that a public right-of-way violation is not a part of the very public right-of-way project planning? That's what you're telling me right now. What an absolutely ludicrous statement. absolutely ridiculous. 5611 and 5612 are absolutely important. Why? Because if they're violated, what happens to any of the vendors? They get criminally prosecuted, right? I saw it myself. I saw a man get prosecuted criminally and fined. So why is it that any of these vendors or anybody else for that fact who violates 5611 and 5612 does not get criminal charges filed against them? I know your department can do it because I saw the declaration in support of issuing criminal charges signed by a deputy city attorney sitting on this very board years ago. So again, 5611 and 5612 are very important to agenda item number 4, public right of way. That is an absolute fact. So do not tell me I'm off topic on that one. All right, I don't appreciate it. Moving on, yet again, number 5, we're talking about a major street improvement. Where is the discussion on the public right of way obstruction and penalties? 5611 and 5612. What are the penalties if any of those people involved in that project violate those laws?
Pardon me, Speaker,
Those are laws,
that's not
not my
related
words.
to item number 5, the status update on
Absolutely it
major
is.
street improvement
Absolutely.
projects.
It's a major public street improvement project, and I'm asking the board, what are the penalties for 5611 and 5612 violations? Is it not criminal charges as a misdemeanor starting at, as well as $2,500 a day with every day of the violation being a new charge and an additional $2,500? Yes or no? Is that what 5611 and 5612 state? Yes or no? That's what I want this board to discuss on item number 5. And don't tell me it's off topic. It's just about a public right of way, a public street. All right. Same thing jumping back to number 3. We have community level contracting. Any of these vendors, if they do the violation of 5611 and 5612, what are the penalties for them? Do they get special treatment, or to the letter of the law as 5611 and 5612 state, do they get criminally prosecuted on misdemeanor charges with every day being
Speaker,
a new
that's not
charge
related
and a
to
new
number
fine?
3 either,
Yes or
which
no?
is community level
Yes or no?
contracting, not
That is what this
enforcement
board
of
needs
any
to
code.
answer on item number 3.
Speaker, you've been warned and
5611
your time has
and
expired. Thank you.
5612.
Caller Georgina, you indicated you'd like to speak on items 4 and 5. You have 2 minutes. You can go ahead. Caller Georgina, you can press *6 to unmute yourself. You have 2 minutes.
Sorry. Thank you. I want to discuss the continuous street closures by Church of Scientology on L. Ron Hubbard Way.
I'm
It
sorry,
has to
Speaker,
stop.
your comments have to be associated with a specific agenda item? We're in multiple agenda public comment?
Well, I'm directly addressing agenda item number 4, right-of-way project. It's a right-of-way obscurance to hold these streets in private usage. They're a public right-of-way. Parking is at a premium in Hollywood. Why isn't that street opened up to parking? If you put meters in, I estimate that you could fit 50 metered spots there, and it would be a great asset to the community that would open up that street to the use of everyone and not just the Church of Scientology. I estimate with metered parking there, the city could easily earn at least $1,000 a day, paying for the cost of the meter installation in 1 month's time, returning the street to the people to use. They have been abusing their right to hold events and have been holding events weekly there to block the street from people. Why isn't the street opened up to public parking? Why isn't the street made available to the public? The fact that they can tie up this street for endless days and weeks and months, and it's been a year now that they've been doing this crap, it's ridiculous. They need to be held accountable. They need to be fined for the crates that they have littering all over the sidewalk, the damage they've done to the sidewalks, and that street needs to be opened up to the people. I yield back my time.
Thank you. President Corsan, that's it for our multiple agenda item comment today, and we have no single agenda item comments received and no neighborhood councilhood commentary.
Thank you. With that, we'll close the public comment portion for today's meeting and move on to approval of the minutes for Wednesday, February 19th. If there is a second to my motion to approve those minutes.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Mattson. There is a first from myself and a second from Commissioner Mitchell.
Great. We'll take the roll beginning with you, President Corsand,
Aye.
Vice President Chavez,
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant,
Aye.
Commissioner King,
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell. All ayes and the minutes are approved.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 1, specification submitted for board adoption and authorization to advertise for the invitation of bids in council districts 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15 traffic signal backlog reduction, phase 2, and traffic signal improvement. There is no oral report for this one.
No, I believe, was this administrative item number 1?
Okay. That being the case, we'll take items 1 and 2 on we'll just do it real quickly. Is there a second to my motion for item number 1?
Second.
Thank you. Ms. Mattson, there's a first from myself and a second from Vice President Chavez.
Great, thank you. We'll take the roll beginning with you, President Corsand,
Aye.
Vice President Chavez,
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant,
Aye.
Commissioner King,
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell. All ayes and the item is adopted. Forthwith.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 2, in all council districts, the mayor and city council have approved and waived ED3 review and authorized the Board of Public Works on behalf of the Bureau of Street Services to execute amendments to the personal services contracts. Is there a second to my motion to approve this item?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Mattson. There is a first from myself and a second from Vice President Chavez.
Great, we'll take the roll beginning with you, President Corsand,
Aye.
Vice President Chavez,
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant,
Aye.
Commissioner King,
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell. All ayes and the item is approved forthwith.
All right. Moving along. Moving to the oral reports. Commissioners, if there's no objections, I would prefer to receive item number 5 as a written report. Is there any questions for the Bureau of Street Services? If not, we'll consider the report received. Great. Moving on to item number 3, the community level contracting from all bureaus. And we will start with Bureau of Sanitation, Mr. John Pattison.
Thank you, Commissioner Corsand. Good morning, Commissioners, Executive Officer, City Attorney, John Pattison with LA Sanitation Environment. LA Sanitation currently has 2 pending community-level contracting opportunities. An RFQ for landscaping and site services was released previously. The proposals have already been received and evaluated. We are hopeful that we will get an award board report to the board next month, maybe the month after. The project manager is still working on the language on that. We have also just released and posted to RAMP an RFP for organic waste and urban gardening public education program. It was posted on RAMP with a proposal due date of April 23rd of this year. This RFP was specifically drafted to allow for the opportunity to, or potential opportunity of award to multiple small first-time bidders based on geographic region. During monthly contract meetings with LA Sanitation's divisions, we do evaluate our upcoming opportunities with regard to whether or not they can be unbundled, broken down, be made as available as community level contracting opportunities, various factors such as price, geographic region, scope of work, and so on. Bureau of Contract Administration staff has also been extremely helpful in reviewing our board reports, providing guidance on that, and the checklist, of course, that they provided is useful as well. That concludes LA Sanitation's report. I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great day all and good weekend.
Have a good weekend. I see no names listed except for BCA and Irene Gonzalez. If the other bureaus, if you have reports, just let us know who's providing the report.
Hi, good morning, Commissioners. I think we're a couple minutes shy of the afternoon. Happy Friday. Irene Gonzalez, the Bureau of Contract Administration. BCA continues to assist the other bureaus in identifying CLC opportunities. We are also continuing to work with the Office of Procurement in these efforts to track participation and develop more opportunities. And subsequently, when contracts are awarded, to provide assistance in training, since many are first-time bidders. In addition to the Bureau of Engineering's ongoing small sidewalk repair services project, BOE is currently working on a pre-qualified on-call contract for architectural and related professional services consultants. BCA has completed their initial review of this draft board report. The list will contain 2 tiers. Tier 1 is being identified as rising firms. The goal of this tier is to expand opportunities for emerging firms to gain access to public work experience. Other CLC opportunities coming, John had mentioned LA Sands Waste and Urban Gardening Public Education Program. We were also informed that the Housing Department had an RFP out for, or pending, release for handy worker. That would be an opportunity for another CLC opportunity. BCA will work with these bureaus to develop small business academy style classes for first-time bidders to ensure their success. That concludes my update. Open to any questions.
Thank you, Commissioners. Any questions? Okay, thank you. We'll go next to Bureau of Street Services. If there's a report, just state your name for the record.
Good morning, and thank you, President and Commissioners. Adrian Sedano, reporting on the Bureau of Street Services community level contracting. The first 4 contracts listed are for the maintenance of landscape median islands. An NTP for the Bay Harbor contract renewal for year 2 was issued on January 30th. The new expiration date is February 2nd, 2026. An NTP for the West Valley contract renewal for year 2 was issued on February 24. The new expiration date is February 24th, 2026. The contract covering the North Central region expired February 20th. We'll be going to the board very soon. And for the contract covering the East Valley region, the board approved the renewal on February 24th, and the NTP is pending. For the on-call consultants for sidewalk and park vending outreach and education, TOS 350 was issued on June 18th and was awarded to the Imagen Group and MCG and Associates, with an NTP being issued on November 18th, 2024 for both. We continue to seek potential CLC opportunities, and we look to procure future contracts. That concludes my report, and I can answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. Any questions? Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Likewise.
All right. We'll go next to Bureau of Engineering. Julie, if you could just state your name for the record.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Good morning. Julia Sanchez de la Vega with the Bureau of Engineering. We're very excited. It was at the tail end of last fiscal year that the board authorized our pre-qualified on-call small contractor list. And we've been moving to deliver a number of projects, approximately 15 projects this fiscal year. 3 of those were awarded in this last quarter from October to December. And we're currently working along with 10 different contractors to award additional work and issue notice to proceeds in the first quarter of this fiscal year, and have them be a strong portion of our contribution to our sidewalk efforts across the city. I'm happy to address any questions.
Thank you, Commissioners. Any questions or comments? Okay, thank you. Have a good weekend. And last but not least, Bureau of Streetlights. Okay, we'll close this one out. No one from Bureau of Streetlights. Moving on to item number 4, Bureau of Engineering, Public Right-of-Way Project Planning and Delivery Policy 813 Update.
Thank you. Thank you. Julia Sanchez, once again here with representing the Bureau of Engineering. In this case, also representing my colleagues in the Department of Public Works and DOT that are collaborating as part of the Interdepartmental Project Delivery MOU. So as you are aware, with the advent with our former mayor, Mayor Garcetti, he established the Green New Deal, and under that, the departments, including Department of Public Works, came together to establish the Interdepartmental Project Delivery MOU. So this was signed off by the board in 2022, about 3 years ago, and it has since been working to use established protocols to coordinate between departments, to work to streamline and synchronize work programs and bring additional collaboration to interdepartmental efforts, and to proactively pursue multi-benefit projects. So Mayor Bass, in continuing down on these efforts of citywide coordination, released, since I last came to speak with you, Executive Directive Number 9. I know the board has been excited and involved in this effort, where the mayor is looking for a citywide strategic vision for infrastructure to build upon the efforts of interdepartmental MOU and other interdepartmental efforts that come before it. And it's really grounded in having an equitable, transparent process, promoting streamlined government, centralized asset management, and long-term critical capital planning to meet the city's needs. And to kick off the effort and really coordinate it, the Capital Planning Steering Committee was held, which has begun meeting. And they're really working to develop the detailed path forward. So part of what will occur is the consolidation of various current capital oversight groups. So one of the key efforts is capital project maintenance, delivery, and development, where this effort will streamline existing priority working groups, which include the street working group, the sidewalk repair program executive steering committee, and this effort, the interdepartmental memorandum of MOU. Our latest meeting for the MOU was held back in December, on December 11th, 2024, where we collaborated on 3 different projects in particular. For the Bureau of Engineering, we presented on our ATP 6 projects, City Center project. For BSL, they provided information on the delivery of the community block grants, and LADOT coordinated and shared on their Spring and Alameda Protective Bike Lane project. We look forward to working along with the Mayor's Office departments and members of your board as things get carved forward. Wanted to remind the board as well as the public of one of the key items that have been developed under the Interdepartmental Project Delivery MOU that will carry us forward as ED9 is implemented, and that is our public right-of-way planning tool. This has been a key element. The folks wanting to access this can go into Navigate LA and go to the tools settings at the top of the bar. From there, checking the right-of-way project planning tool. And it brings up this option here where you can look up any area in the city, a corridor or a project area, and see potential conflicts or collaboration opportunities with over 20,000 active and planned city projects happening citywide, including your Department of Public Works bureaus, our Department of Water and Power proprietaries, Film LA, and LADOT, and Metro. This is an example of a screenshot of Echo Park that shows, an area where specific projects and conflicts or potential collaboration opportunities are one click away. I'm happy to address any questions this morning.
All right. Thank you, Julia. Commissioners, any questions or comments? Did we all tire ourselves out with the presentation from speaking? All right. Well,
Thank you.
thank you, Julia. No questions. All right. Ms. Mattson, have we cleared our desk for today?
Yes, President Corsand, we have.
Great. It is 12:05 and our last meeting for February 2025 is adjourned.